Hello everybody, this is Conquering History Games, and welcome back to part 4 of my Longsword campaign here in Hearts of Iron 4 Equestria War. So you're going to notice it's 2 weeks later. So actually I managed to win the Civil War faster than the AI, but this was, for those of you who have not seen it, when I was doing one of my Diamond Mountain campaigns, the Longsword AI managed to win the war, and I could not believe it. You definitely should go check that series out just to see me go, come on, do it! And I immediately made a save file. So we should be about to get the event, I think, where we're going to have to, make our decision. So we have the Eternal Reward. I'll just read this one more time. The country lay in ruins, cities were razed, villages and forests were burned, farmlands were despoiled. The triumphant count spared none in his quest to purify Longsword. Even the victorious Reformistan were starting to have second thoughts about this plan, but they were kept in check by their zealous superiors. Longsword was purified at a heavy cost. The hastily erected fortifications of Zelstadt were no match for the Reformistan onslaught as they broke through and mercilessly slaughtered the loyalist soldiers. Conrad Silvertalon was found in his room, lying dead at the command table, pistol in his claws. The surviving commanders were quickly executed. Visagina's forests were burning as the Reformistan were driving out the ponies by any means necessary. For all their efforts, Starry Night and most of the partisans were able to flee across the border to Lake City, their escape covered by ponies and griffins who sacrificed themselves to enable it. In the end, it could reasonably be said not a single pony was left in Longsword. After all these years, setbacks, and outright revolts, Count Pallas Dusttalon considered his dream fulfilled. Sure, he had to destroy most of the country to accomplish that, but did that matter once von Katerinburg learned of his success? Surely he'd get richly rewarded, maybe even gain a higher title. Now all that's left is for Rosa Heidenreich to send a letter to Helquill reporting of their success. On the other claw, Rosa herself was feeling disillusioned by this outcome. The Reformistan cause is self-destructive. They have no future. Perhaps she can still make the final decision of this civil war. 'Cause man, I don't need your civil... Okay, whatever. So, the uniform is rather nice, but the Reformistan's days are over. So we're going to get Anarchy. We'll look at what that does now. Dusttalon is going to die. And we will no longer be friends with Helquill. So, okay, stop. Actually, I wonder, does Lake City get anything because of the military and power? I was trying to see if they got anything because they fled over, but I don't think so. Maybe that would be something interesting if Lake City went communist, which I'm not even sure if they can. No, I don't think they're allowed to. But if they ever did change it, not that they have to, but like, yeah, if there was like a communist Lake City and then it fled across, maybe they can get a war goal on Longsword. Anyway, just some idle thoughts. So I don't know what this army looks like. They have a mountaineer. Okay, that's weird. But Heidenreich is now our field marshal. They went with Fort Buster for her. Nothing I could do about that. We'll figure out what to do next here in a second. But wait, oops! I just realized, even though she's a field marshal, it needs to be over there. Okay. Everybody else is dead. So we're gonna have some interesting. This is gonna be a pretty interesting playthrough. But if we look here. Or in a second. Oh, there she is, by the way. Let's read her bio real quick. Former second in command to Count Dusktalon. Wait a second. Stop doing that. Okay. No. Former second in command to Count Dusktalon, Rosa Heidenreich was one of his earliest supporters when he began spreading the Reformistan values through Longsword. It was her hard work and dedication that got her to this position, and although some would say Rosa had the Count's personal interests, she vehemently denies any of that and insists it was through merit alone. Regardless, having spent many nights ruminating on the failures of the Reformistan ideology, it wasn't a light decision for her to overthrow the Count after their victory in the Civil War. She now leads the former Black Cloaks as a ruthless bandit leader, free of any previous trappings and interested only in extracting riches from others. We've got Anarchy, which is taking away half of political power point a day, minus 40% stability, minus 40% war support, minus 25% production, efficiency cap growth, and factory output. Also, everything is getting more support all the time. Everything's at 0.01. The police have stopped functioning, taxes aren't being paid, the hinterlands are killing fields, employment is a foreign concept, and our currency is worth dirt. We really dropped the ball here, didn't we? So in some ways, this is really where the game begins, because as you see, it's still only 10:07. Now we have got some work to do. Pass me the paint and glue. House here, declare on house here. Alright, first thing I want to do here is, let's maybe switch all of these over to a consistent, type. We'll go with this, yeah, we're going to convert everybody, I think, to this Griffin Infantry Division. We'll do that as a start. Okay, a new dawn. Count Dusttalon sat gleefully in his office writing of his many victories until he was interrupted by Heidenreich and a small group of other high-ranking Reformistan. What is the meaning of this, Heidenreich? I haven't summoned you. The group exchanged quick glances before Heidenreich spoke. Dusttalon, this cannot go on anymore. The country is ruined. We went too far and accomplished nothing worth boasting about. It is time for you to step down. Disappointment clear in her tone. The nerve of this Griffin. He has achieved his dream and so much more, and now she wants to throw it all away? He stood up and started screeching, Heidenreich, how dare you interfere in our sacred But he didn't get to finish as one of the conspirators shot him in the head. Word of this event quickly spread and anarchy ensued as the Reformistan turned on each other in brutal infighting. The following week saw much violence and destruction of what was left in Longsword, until a semblance of order was restored by Heidenreich and her close supporters. She has some radical changes in mind for Longsword. Hail to the Queen! We will now be a bandit state, and we are now also the Heidenreich Bandits, which is what I think I will name this episode. Or maybe things will just start getting confusing. I guess I'll probably just keep calling the series Longsword, because, yeah, I might change the thumbnail. Okay, so Heidenreich's takeovers. You see we get a big, brand new focus tree here. Let's take a look at what Bandit State means. So things are already better. We got some recruitable population. We have less stability, true, but we got more support and division attack and political power gain. Yeah, it's a bit better. The economy has crashed. Internal production is almost non-existent, and quality of life doesn't exist. Longsword is nothing more than a war-torn country which depends on raiding its neighbors to sustain itself. So, we want to go... Which direction? Here, consolidate our power. Even now, we've still got remnants from the Civil War opposing us, partisans, reformistan, loyalist militaries, and more. Can't they see we've clearly won? Teach the remainder a harsh lesson of opposing Rosa Heidenreich. So, the reason that I went with this save file here, which really not much has changed, although I guess we're not going to see the Socialist River Republic. Sorry for everybody who was excited to see how that plays out. But we've got the Sunstriker clan up here, which has gone fascist. This is going to be key, as we will see. Now, we can come over here. It looks like, okay, we can get some more generals. Pony power. Yeah, this is just a bunch of army improvements. I think this can definitely wait. Spoiler brigades. Yeah, this can wait. Over here, bandits and planes. Well, pretty straightforward. There's planes. Hey, where's the naval tree? WTF, people. The Wingbardian Civil War also just ended. Oh, wait, no. That's over here. So, the Kingdom of Wingbardy ended up taking that. So, it shows that I was wrong about communists getting control all the time. So, raiding. Our people have embraced raiding as a way of life. As such, we can launch raids against our neighbors to gain loot, which we can then spend in a variety of ways. We have 0 piles of loot. I think this is kind of something they were doing to test, because I know they're going to start incorporating more money into the next patches in the future. So, just just Equestria at War continuing to set the standard and go, not just be the bar, but raise it all the time. So we can prepare a raid on the barony of Angervy. It'll take 30 days, after which the raid can be initiated. So we've got 5. Let's put some artillery in here as best we can anyway. Oh, there's like no infantry equipment. So we're going to do a chance meeting. Heidenreich is feeling rather discontent with life lately. Perhaps a good raid will drag her out of her misery. Yes, this is going to be very, very fun. I probably shouldn't have even hired this guy, but he was free. This Auto Thundertail. Let's get training. Maybe pull these 2 out. And let's prepare a raid. Now, who's the weakest one of our neighbors? Keterin it is. Look at this. This is a fascist leader? Okay. So we will prepare a raid on, yes, the Katarine Principality. It'll take 30 days. Let's see how that goes. So we can divide, whenever we have 2 piles of loot, we can divide it, which increases our stability and war support and gives us political power. We could do Fresh Blood, gives me 11,000 pony power. We can invest it to get civilians. Ooh, that's an expensive one. Alright, so the more loot we can get, the better. It looks like we can only prepare for 1 raid at a time, though. That's good to know. Dun, dun, dun. Whoa, 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 whoa. Concentrated industry. How about we... wait, shoot. We're probably going to have to actually do that. Because we've got 3 right now. I don't imagine we're going to get another research slot anywhere. Organ donors. Yeah, I don't think we can... I guess concentrated is going to be the way to go. Fine, 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 fine. Well, let's at least improve our machine tools in the meantime. Trench warfare. Yeah, sure. Let's take a look at the country here. We're still a small science base and a pre-industrial society. It's going to be interesting how this plays out. We're definitely much weaker than our neighbors around us. And we can't justify on... Oh, we could justify on somebody. But this is a holy league that's been formed here. Could I take them, though? Maybe. Nice hair, dude. These are bandits? But, maybe. I wonder. I do wonder. I know there's something that'll automatically give us a war goal on Lucy, so I think we'll leave them alone. Maybe we can take on the Knightly Order of Hellquill. Wouldn't that be ballsy? We have gone independent after all. Alright, chance meeting is done. Also, we're no longer getting the effects of the final push. Okay, time to read a friggin' essay. What's this? Forest deer. When Rosa signed on with the Reformistan, she dreamed of a bright future for Longsword, one without a pitiful minority that had always been seen as an outsider with an alien culture. The Reformistan was seen as the savior of the nation in her eyes. Her genuine belief in its movement served well in having her climb to the top of it with ease. The last thing she'd have thought is how its rise ultimately led to the fall of Longsword as a nation-state, a civilized one at least. She was to be an upstanding lady of the nation. Now her days were spent living off the work of others she'd stolen from. Of all things she'd felt she'd have been as a small girl, being a leader of bandits wasn't even a consideration. This had gone on for months now. Even weeks of pointless existence off of the backs of others weaker than her. It was emotionally grating, demoralizing even. Nothing impressed her anymore, and life had come to a standstill even as it continued on. She'd begun to feel left behind. Even her closest friend had been the Count in the past before she had had to do what needed to be done. Life seemed to be treating her like a toy with all the curveballs it had thrown throughout the last few years. Today was yet another which hit her right in the face in the form of a chance meeting with another who possessed the potential to impact her life just as much, if not more, than Dust Talon had. In hauling back loot from a recent raid on the ponies of Fir Tree villages with her goons, she had mistakenly made a wrong turn. Such things often led to less than pleasant outcomes. But instead she and her underlings had run into the monarch of the neighboring mountainous Sunstriker clan, Ereviar. Despite the young king's pursuit of a more civilized lifestyle, he still had a slim reliance on the outdated methods of raiding for things his country simply could not produce. Of all birds Rosa could have run into, Ereviar nearly instantly became one she'd not forget. His forces were nearly the same size and similarly equipped, if not worse off, yet his troops had gathered twice as much loot as she had. She knew well that she'd caught his eye, considering it was he who insisted on stopping to converse and professing interest in her. Along with giving Rosa a quarter of his own loot as a show of good faith, surely it was out of pity rather than physical attraction. But regardless of why, she wasn't going to pass this young monarch off as someone forgettable too quickly when she'd return home. This Ereviar fellow seems interesting, so we get some political power off of that. Next, we are going to do a lovely gift. Heidenreich was so charmed by Ereviar's gift, she has requested that we send a return gift just as splendid. We might not have much, but surely there's benefit in having close relations with a foreign power. Okay, 5 days until we're ready to do this raid. Yeah, soon, soon, soon. We gotta get the loot. Alright, so initiate raid. We have to have at least one division in longbow against the border of Lingermill. Here. Okay, so obviously we're gonna take all our best. Wait, got that mixed up. Whoops. Okay, the two of you come out here. You stop training. Which one's Lingermill? This one. So we're going to have 6 divisions. I don't know what his look like. What this one's looks like. They've got 5. Let's see, they're 3. Oh, they're small. We could definitely deal with them, although we admittedly do not have infantry equipment. It's all gone, apparently. But we're going to try it. Check this out. Force attack, and then we initiate it. Raid has been initiated. We are currently winning. They don't have anybody in the area. Okay. Raid is in progress. We're sending reinforcements. Oh, our soft attack is so pathetic. Yeah, reserves are coming up. I do not think we have this one. Damnation. Yep. Oh, we're going to take a loss off this, for sure. Damn it. We need guns. Alright, so we're done with that. So now, time for a pleasant evening. Heidenreich has been planning on visiting RVR for... Well, we can read this wall. We can do the other stuff. Let's at least trade for a bit of steel, because I just got to get these guns knocked out. So, Heidenreich has been planning on visiting Ereviar for a visit for a long time, but the ongoing anarchy made that difficult. Now that things are relatively stable, we shall prepare a festival for the visiting monarch, among other things Heidenreich has in mind. This sucks, man. Wait, what the fuck? Why are you converting shit? Okay, let's try to get our heads out of our asses. How about we do that, everybody? Can we try to do that? We'll build up some infrastructure down here, get some steel, and then we'll keep working on other things. The Yak War has begun. Yeah, this is gonna fail. Damn, they just moved their whole army down here. So basically, our army needs to be able to beat their army. Or you know what? Maybe I should say F it, and no, that's a bad idea. I was gonna say just justify on these fools. On the other hand, what? Let's get dangerous. We're gonna justify on Hellquill. And try to take them on. Like, their most important city is right on our border. If we can grab that, the rest should fall easily. This is still going. Well, you know, at least these guys are getting experience, I suppose. Pleasant evening is done. Now, the budding relationship between Heidenreich and Ereviar has resulted in some benefits for us whole, as the Sunstriker leader has sent us a caravan full of stolen goods. With slaves, too. And that will give me 2 piles of loot, which I can then spend on some other nice things. Ereviar agrees. He would love to come. He's accepted our invitation. That gives us 50 political power. We could go for the improved worker conditions, but I think I could try to wait until I have the full-blown war economy. So, yeah, let's start improving the workers' conditions. And we still should be able to prepare a raid, although this one's still in progress. Okay, an evening of fun. The evening was set, and Rosa's desires were within reach. Initially, she'd been the one to be approached by Ereviar, but now it was her turn to do some of the wooing. She'd barely done a thing besides return his affections, and already she had him right in her claws. The truth was, she did feel a love in return for him, a strong one at that to boot. Enough so that after receiving his latest gift, she was driven to preparing a great feast for him to partake in. In fact, the feast became a front for her ultimate plan of tying the knot with him. Literally. Nothing better than alcohol, food, party games, and competition to get a male relaxed enough for intimacy. Initially, sure, Ereviar wanted her, but now, Rosa needed him. All she had to do was find the time and place to propose the question, and the time had finally come in this moment tonight. Meet in my room, my lord. How devious. In the bedroom. Her plan had succeeded. Her meek little question of sharing some mead gave fruit to the greater whole of her desires as moments later she excitedly dragged Ereviar off by the claw through numerous hallways and towards her room. Despite Longsword's reputation to outsiders, the little devilish woman had created quite the comfy home for herself in the capital's remnants. Of all the surrounding desolation, her headquarters and de facto palace provided any comfort one could expect in more civilized countries. Lady Heidenreich's room was no different, as it possessed an overly luxurious bedding she'd no doubt stolen from some poor Fertrinian pony or Griffonian noble, along with plentiful furniture. Even if she had to work like a low-class ruffian, she sure strived to live like an upper-class lady of stature now. She'd dress like one, too, privately and publicly, when viable. Ereviar soon learned of this as he entered his lady's room first and followed her simple orders to get comfortable. He undressed some, merely taking off his dress jacket to hang it up before moving to sit down atop the head of her large bedding. It'd be less than a minute or so passing before the blue-eyed beauty returned in, wearing quite the scanty array of lingerie. It was definitely something fabricated in Skyfall by the looks of it. The fanciful black silk came in the form of stockings over her hind legs that went all the way up. Further inspection showed it had been a garden belt, too, though most alarmingly was the fact her groin was completely exposed. The sight of such shameless nudity caused a blush to form on Ereviar's cheeks. "My lord," she hummed forebodingly. Ereviar's heart rate was quick to ramp up. He believed he'd be drinking mead, however. It now seemed he'd be tasting something else tonight, something that'd been on his mind for quite some time. "It's only fair a gentlegriff performs such for his late..." Wait. There he is. "It's only fair a gentlegriff performs such for his lady, non?" Plus 50 political power, and we had fun. So, opinion is up. Lovely gift, had fun, exchanging letters, same ruling party. Alright, alright, alright. It's all working. Oh, I'm starting to think this Hellcool thing's a bad idea, though. Oh, shoot, they've got artillery. This might be all they have, though. They're going to militarize the police, though. Does that give them more divisions? Let's give them some bonuses. But, like, we got to beat Hellquill earlier. We're not going to beat him at all. That's the way I see it. This war will begin in April. Got almost a year. On the other hand, that means we have almost a year to prepare. This is just going to go on forever, isn't it, this raid? Holy shit. Let's grab radio, maybe? Or... yeah, we are in some bad positions here. This is so bad. No longer get the effects from recovering from the Civil War. Okay, cool. At least we have that going for us. Note to self, put an R rating on the thumbnail. I don't know what I'm going to make the thumbnail for this series. I know I'm going to have Dusk Talon, because I'm recording all this in advance, of course. So I'm probably going to have Dusk Talon on it, and then I'll replace him with Heidenreich at some point. Alright, that one's done. Now... as a show of affection towards his beloved Rosa, Ereviar has sent some of his best bodyguards to our lands. Isn't he wonderful? We'll have insufficient resources. Gosh, so much of this is just bad. We gotta move to we're gonna have to go to partial mobilization. We can't wait. We need to, like, get maybe one factory back. Poverty's also hurting us. And next we need to teach the illiterate. We are rich. Ah, so this is a... oh, the old one laughs was bypassed. Mara is amused with recent developments of a relationship between Heidenreich and Ereviar. His acolytes say he is offering us a boon, but it's a mystery what he can grant us. Completing this focus will give you a completely random bonus. Oh. So why did it bypass? Oh, he's non-aligned now? You want to run that by me again? Call of the only one. Journey to the center of the mind. Interesting. So, oh, he could have found himself, like, possessed or something? Might have to do a Sunstriker run, everybody. Rosa hide it. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. If I ever do a Sunstriker clan one, we're gonna how do I say this? We'll pick it up from the same save file so that we could work with Heidenreich's bandits. Yeah, that could be very interesting. Time for the wedding. You are cordially invited to attend the wedding between Ereviar Sunstriker and Rosa Heidenreich to be joined together at the Breakbeak Spires. And we can move up to partial. Then again, is that even worth it? We're in such a bad position. Oh, should I do Silent Workboard? Yeah, Silent Workboard. That's a great way to like get more political power over the long term, but also just kick that decision can down the road. Got a couple Sunstriker bandits. Might as well get these training. How are my logistics? Oh my gosh, this is just horrid. Absolutely horrid. Can I just tell them to hold, or are we just going to be fighting over there forever? How long has this raid been going? Alright. Anyway, once we're done with the wedding, we're probably going to start heading down towards We Are Rich. Nothing else really comes to mind. This actually hurts my political power in some of these areas. Counts treasure. But yeah, don't we have some loot? So just divide it. Get a little bonus everywhere, basically. Yeah. No more piles of loot. But also what's cool about dividing the loot is then you get political power to then do more raids, which is kind of cool. How much longer is this going to go? 39 days, 30-ish days, about a month. When we lose, we're going to lose stability, war support, political power, and pody power. And they're going to gain it. Damnation. Okay, waiting for the wedding. And we're going to call it a day. So, teach the literate. The fact is, resolving the literacy problem in this nation will take too long and will cost too much. The boss has had an idea. Why not simply enslave them all? Anyone who's weighing down our nation shall suffer a slow death in the mines. We can't say we disagree with this methodology. Right, the Griffin Liberation Army won down there. You're now the Griffonian Liberation State. They'll become Pride one soon enough. The wedding! This was it! This was really it. This was the day. Not only had she gone to visit her soon-to-be husband's home and see how he lived, which was far better than she did, bluntly put, but she also was able to meet some of his family, which still lived. She got along well with all of them, only reinforcing her position as the king's perfect bride. She'd sent out some of her goons weeks in advance to the west and seeking some fanciful wedding gown directly from the stores of Skyfall, and they'd arrived on time for today as well. A bit rushed to fit everything, but nothing impossible. And really, she did look beautiful. She hadn't often worn white, but in an event like this, a lady such as herself shouldn't go outside the norm. The day was a haze for her as things progressed quickly. She was a schoolgirl once more with how giddy she'd be. Time went by so quickly that before she knew it, she stood right next to Ereviar at the altar, being read their vows. Each asked vow being returned with a resounding, "Wonderful!" We're now happily married. We've created the faction, the Concordant, and we get political power out of it. We are the faction leader. So, there you have it, everybody. A new faction has joined the stage. So, a little bit of a bumpy start we're having here, to put it bluntly. But I think we're gonna go with the military theorist so we can keep getting more army experience. And wow, we're actually in the green right now. That's interesting. Maybe I should get a military high command guy. Like recovery rate. Oh no, I could stack some army experience gains. Get Hammerschmidt with the military theorist. I also need this at some point. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do partial mobilization, then the military theorist, then the other military guy. Yeah, it's gonna all work out, I think, in the end. We're gonna find out though. But that's kind of cool that we are in the green now. Huh. They're both Thundertails. Oh no, it's been brother against brother. Look at what I've forced him to do. Ain't I just the worst? But seriously, let's make some of our weapons better. And there you have it. So I am Conquering History Games. This is Heidenreich's Bandits. We're going to keep going through this now that the wedding has been successful. We are going to be going to war in about 5 months against Hellquill, so hopefully this freaking war against the Principality is over by then. One can only hope. Oh, I can... Well, they're not going to give me anything, though. But we're going to... This war against Hellquill, of course, is going to be the make or break moment. Like, it's pretty sweet. We can like practically double our factories if we pick this up. If we get this win, it's gonna be a tricky one. Or maybe I'll just cancel it. Who knows? Speaking of cancel, how do I cancel this? I don't know. We'll figure it out later. I'll see you then. Bye.